Hey there, if you want to sell an online course or coaching program and price it over $2,000 and above, then don't build it first. Literally, I'm going to take you through in this video what you need to do right now to make sure that that course or coaching program is going to actually sell. Okay. And so I'm going to use an AI tool at the end for you to be able to know exactly how to ensure that you really get sales for your program or your course. Now, I've been selling for the past few years and I've done about over 500,000 so far in sales. So I have a bit of experience in selling online courses, coaching programs. And what I'm more proud of are those that I've been able to help do the same as well. So I'm going to take you through my process, as it were. And now we have AI. I'm going to show you how it's an absolute game changer. What used to take maybe a couple of days, I'll give my students maybe a week to do. You can do it right now on this course to ensure that your program, your offer, your course is actually going to sell. Okay. So you can see on my screen this lovely little house, right? And I put on here no sales. Now, before I go into what will ensure that it sells, I was going to start with, well, why do courses, why don't they sell? What is the problem? What interrupts the flow of money coming into your pocket when you want to sell a course or coaching program? So we're going to work through these together. And I want to make sure that you understand how important it is for you to use your God-given gifts in packaging out your offer, because this is what's going to help you to actually sell. So let's just dive deep on the 5 things in my own personal experience that has really been a game changer in being able to sell courses. Okay. Now, the first thing, and we're going to attack this at the end, right? So stay with me. We're going to attack this with our AI tool. The first thing is not having, what I'm going to put here, let me write it down for you. Confirmed demand. So the P on the top here stands for, if I can get my little pen out now, the P on the top here stands for no purchasing demand. Okay. One of the reasons why courses don't sell is because there is no purchasing demand, i.e. there is no demand. I wanted to give it all P's, so but that's the biggest thing. Now in 2026, when I'm recording this, what you want to understand is that courses do still sell. What doesn't sell is courses that are so broad or has no specificity. So what you want to be doing in 2026 is to make sure that what you want to sell, course or program, is quite specific. Okay. I'm going to work through what that looks like. Now, the second reason is you have not attracted the right or the perfect person. The perfect person, okay? That's my next P. The perfect person to your course, right? You need to attract people. So let's just say there is demand, right? So maybe demand is not an issue. There's demand. You know for sure there's demand for what you do. Cool. Noted. Tick, right? Now, if there is demand and you're still not selling, it's because you haven't been able to attract the perfect person. Now, when it comes to, again, that whole thing of being specific, when you have a specific problem that you solve, it will attract a specific type of person. So your job is to really get clear on what's the specific result that I can help somebody with. If it's not that specific, you can narrow down what you're doing to a specific person instead, so that you actually really target someone who has core pain points. Okay, we're gonna go back around these in a second. The next one is your ability to, or inability, right, to make your offer irresistible by the lack of packaging. So no packaging experience. All right, should I put that there? Oh gosh, now I've made it all weird. Sorry, this is my attempt to be all like cool and what's it called on my little iPad, but we're gonna roll like this anyway. Hopefully you can see that down there. Can you see it down there, guys? That is packaging. Okay, packaging, right? And what that basically means is you have not packaged your offer so that it is irresistible to the person that it's for. Okay. The one big reason. So because you're selling and it's really, really general. So the person who it's for doesn't know it's for them. Now, even more details than that. When it comes to packaging your offer, what do we mean by packaging? We mean by giving it a name that resonates with your ideal client. It means adding bonuses that would make the journey quicker or easier for your person to get results. It means adding things in your offer that would speak to the values or even the emotions of your prospect so that they would only want to buy from you. And this is where your gifts, your expertise, your stories comes in. So you package an offer that really resonates to the heartbeat of your perfect person. It all comes together. So these are the three things that are really, really important for you to be able to sell. Now, if you have all of these three things and it's still not selling, you might want to think about, and I realize I got the P in the wrong place, but the next P that you want to think about is your, wait for it, is your proof. Do you have proof? Is there social proof that what you're saying you can help them with is demonstrated? Now, if you're brand new, that's fine. You, as the teacher, will have your own personal experience. And so, if you haven't yet got proof for other people, then you need to clearly communicate what you have been able to do. Now, if you are teaching something that you have not got results in yourself, I would look at that again, basically, right? Look at it. You want to have some kind of proof of a journey that you have walked through or you've helped someone walk through that you have some knowledge in to be able to sell, right? So it kind of goes without saying there has to be some kind of experience you have. But the good news is you do not have to be a big expert online, all right? Right? You have to have expertise to some degree, but it's not what you're thinking. You only need to be a few steps ahead of your person and have done something and be able to help somebody else. Now, here's the thing. If you're brand new again, you want to make sure your focus for your course or your program is to get people results. The money will follow. I always coach my clients this. Like the money will always come when you are hyper focused in helping others to win. So if you're getting your first few clients, just get them in. And once you get them in, help them and then share the results. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you right now how to know if this is a course worth creating or worth doing, because you don't want to do all the, you don't want to create a whole course and nobody wants it. We're not doing that. No, you are going to create the packaging around the course and you're going to get the concept and know if you have demand around the course. And then when you get your first few people in, you are going to walk through that program and course live with your prospect. Okay, so you're not going to build it out in your closet by yourself. No, you're going to package it, and I teach this in my challenges. Like we literally build out programs together there in the challenge. People have made thousands without having courses with me, and we just build it out live because they have to trust that they have the expertise, and then they can when you're really are building a course with someone live, you get to understand the key things that are needed inside the program so that your people really get results. Because again, when they get results, they will share it with everyone they know and it will make your scaling easier, your selling easier. So trust me, you need to make sure that you are focused on that piece. Okay, now the last P, which is I think is the least important when everything else is done, but the last P is price. Okay, so you can price too low sometimes, because if it's too low and you're promising a big result, people will question if you can actually really deliver on that thing that you say you can deliver on. Not all the time, but just be careful. Now, pricing is very simple. I'm not going to go into big detail about this right now, but I just want you to be clear when it comes to pricing. There are just a few key things that you want to have in place. Let me just get my thing out. When you're pricing, okay? So when you're pricing, 2,000 plus, I hope you can see everything on my screen. Yeah. What you want to make sure is that you have a outline for a course or a program or a process, right? That clearly demonstrates the result, the clear, specific result, the outcome of your training to the perfect person, right? And that it comes with some kind of coaching or consulting or some kind of Q&A piece so that the people that are buying the course can ask questions as they're going through it. And number three, it needs to have some kind of community. When you have all of these three things with your course and your results, pricing it at $2,000 and above should be pretty easy to do. I've helped people, like I had a lady who she was pricing way too low for what she did. She was amazing. She is amazing at what she does. She's a transformation coach, helping women to start their own coaching programs, but helping them to heal first. And so when we met, she hadn't had this clarity in the beginning, and she was helping people to heal, and there wasn't that specific clarity on the who it was and the what she did. When we worked together on this, she was easily able to turn, I think she was even charging she was making below $1,000 a month, definitely, for sure. In the third week of us working together, she came into the coaching program and she was like, "Hey, Vicky, I've just made my first $10,000 week this week." And I was like, "Oh my gosh," because we priced her program to $2,000, right? She sold 5 that week because she had repackaged the offer and made sure all these elements I'm telling you about were in it, and she clearly was able to demonstrate the results. Okay, so this is what I've been doing for years with people, and I know it works when it's done well. Okay, so these are the 5 things that the reason why your course has not been selling is probably because something in here is missing. So comment below in the comments and let me know, out of all of the things I've mentioned so far, which one, if you have already tried to sell your program and you haven't seen results, then let me know if you can see clearly from what I've given here why that is. So it's either there's no demand for it, there's no purchasing demand for it, that you haven't clearly attracted the perfect person, the packaging is wrong, you haven't been able to package it so it's an irresistible offer, you have not been able to demonstrate proof, or the pricing is wrong. So let me know. Purchasing demand, perfect person, packaging, proof, or price. Where have you had issues? Let me know inside the comments. Now, we're going to tackle these very briefly, one by one, so that you can see that it's very, very easy to turn this around. And this is what I'm excited about teaching you, right? So as I said, we're going to go backwards and we're going to end on demand. I'm going to show you how to use AI to really just test right now, right here, if there is demand for what you do. Okay, so let's go together. So quickly, we're going to move I'm going to move with some speed here, right? Let me just get my thing on the ring. So let's get number one. Number one is price. I've talked about that already, so we're not going to go over that again. With price, I've shown you the 3 things that you need to have to make sure you can charge $2,000 and above. But the key thing here with pricing is that you want to also ensure, so it's irresistible, that the result that you are promising is clearly more valuable in the mind of your prospect than the price that they're charging. So normally we have a 10x rule for that. So if I am able to show you how you can either save, let's say, 20,000 or make 20,000 from the 2K that you are charging, then you have packaged an irresistible offer. It's a no-brainer there. Okay, now it could be obviously 5x, so that has to be 10x for sure, but 10x is a really good, clear leeway. For example, the lady I'm talking about now, she made 10K in 5 days. It was a year-long coaching program. She made 6 figures within the year. Like if I was to charge 2K, 5K, 10K, all of those prices would make it irresistible, because she has ended, the payoff at the end was 100K plus, right, for her own her return on investment. So you must be able to demonstrate basically an ROI. Okay, now if you're not in the business space, don't worry about that. You can still do that By doing what? By clearly communicating what they're going to be saving. I had a client who she helped women to overcome, help Christian women to overcome excessive alcohol consumption. They didn't want to be called alcoholics, but that's literally what they were struggling with behind the scenes. They were churchgoers, they loved the Lord, but they were struggling with drink. And so her offer wasn't to help them make more money, but to save tons of money. Because as an alcoholic, like, you are going to, if you don't solve that problem, it would have high extreme consequences for your medical bill. You're gonna end up having all these medical needs that you're gonna have to be able to sort out. It may end up in divorce, which is another cost that you want to save from. It can end up in a whole family breakdown, or your kids having issues because you weren't present. Okay, so there's all these things that could have happened as with that problem still in the picture. But when you're able to articulate clearly what they are going to stop, what they're going to save in money, like from doing your program, it's going to really, 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 really be a no-brainer for them as well. So I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, so price and ROI, you need to make sure that that is clear. Proof, I've explained that already. So as long as you can clearly communicate your own results through your story, through your client success, you want to make sure that it's clear on your sales page, when you are pitching your offer, on the, in your social media leading up to it. You want to be making sure you're sprinkling this all over. It will give you a higher chance of selling that program. Okay, the next one we said was going to be your packaging. Now, packaging is really important when it comes to using your God-given gifts and expertise. And so what I mean by this is your opportunity to stand out in the marketplace, because whatever it is that you want to sell a course on, there's likely to be other people doing it, and there should be other people doing it, which I'm going to show you in a second. Right now, where you stand out is finding gaps in the marketplace by understanding your story, so you can create an offer that resonates with your ideal clients. I'll give you an example. So I teach women who are women of faith who believe in the Bible, because that's my value base, right? And so because of that, I know most women that I serve who are over 40 mainly, they value prayer. So, excuse me. Excuse me. So within my program, prayer is part of what we do. Okay. Now, it's something that is not a must have in the program, but it's a nice to have because it helps my clients get better results, because I'm also focusing on their spiritual growth, not just their physical growth. And so for me, including things like spiritual activities like prayer, worship, I include that inside of my program. What that does is it attracts, or my program becomes more attractive to somebody who's looking for help with marketing. Because if you're going to put me and, I don't know, Jane, who is a marketer as well, in front of Sharon, okay, who's the buyer who wants to choose. If Sharon is a Christian woman who loves prayer, who loves worship, who has been struggling in the online space for a while, and both me and Jane can potentially help her in the marketing aspect, if as the Christian who understands her values, understands things that she desires, and I include those things into my program, now my program becomes more attractive to the prospect, because I have thought about my ideal client in packaging my program. So where you have an advantage is your story, your gifts, your values. You have to understand who you are as an individual and who you are attracting, so that you can match the two in the way that you package your offer. So this is what's missing in a lot of people's offers. And so their offer becomes bland. Then now people are price hunting because, well, I could buy it from here. I could buy my transformation from this person or that person. Have you are a commodity and nothing stands out. You do not want to be a commodity. You want to be a specialist in what you do. And so people have to buy from you because of the way you have positioned your program and your course. Okay. So there's a lot of things to this, but what I want to tell you is this as well, that God has given each and every one of us specific gifts and expertise that we can use in the marketplace to stand out. And I have this whole entire training on this, on how to use your God-given gifts to stand out in the marketplace so that you can sell online with ease. Here's the difference. When you are selling online and you're selling bricks and mortar shops, and my mum owns a fabric shop here in the UK, right? Now, when I was younger, on Saturdays, I would stay in the shop and I would be by the till and I help my mum out in the shop, right? Now, in that shop, we rely on people who are walking by, okay? Traffic in the streets of London that are in that area to come into the shop and buy from us. Now, that is how every bricks and mortar business operates. When you are online, you are quote unquote competing with the entire world. Think about this for a moment. So the way you position yourself is very, very important, because now your competitors are not just you and two other people on that same street. No, now we're competing with anybody else that's online. And so how do you stand out? Now, this is why people say that the online space is saturated. I don't believe that at all, because you are unique. You have your own gifts, you have your own talents, you have your own story, you have your own message, you have your own reason why, and you have to pull that out of you in this online space right now to be able to thrive and to win and to stand out. I'm telling you, okay? Make your message clear. And so if you would like to have access to my free training on how to actually identify those things so you can sell with ease, just comment training below and we'll send you the link to that so you can really be able to dive deeper into what your gifts are so you can package this really effectively, okay? So that's packaging done. Now, the last two, we're gonna dive in our AI tool, as I promised, okay? So we have, as I mentioned before, our perfect person, oops, and now my thing's gone all weird. Our perfect person and our purchasing demand. So price, proof, packaging, perfect person. Look at my lovely writing here. And lastly, your purchasing demand. Okay. Purchasing demand, right? Not yours, but your prospects, right? The demand for your product. Okay. Now, these last two, we're going to go to our screen because I want to really break this down and show you what this looks like. Now, before I do, I want to give a shout out to another YouTuber called Rochelle B, because I found this out from her channel and I started to dig deeper and it was a complete game changer for me. And what that is simply is, so when I teach this whole process, as I said before, I teach 2 ways to do market research. Now, market research is really important to be able to validate your offer. And that is the way you're going to know whether your course is going to sell. There are 2 ways that I do market research, or the way I teach market research. There is co-worker market research, which is effectively your competitors. Okay. I call them co-worker because really you don't have a competitor because you're unique, as I mentioned before. And then you have your client market research. Now, customer market research are people who are potential buyers of your course, okay? And I encourage my clients till today to go and have one-to-one conversations with those people to find out a bit more about their language and how they articulate their problems. And of course, you can use ChatGPT for that, but I still recommend you go and you speak to people, because it's going to be ingrained here on how much information you're going to really understand, you're going to get from them in getting clarity in your message. Now, the game changer is using an AI agent in ChatGPT. So beforehand, I would teach, and I do teach, how to use YouTube, Google, search platforms online to be able to find competitors or co-workers that are doing well, or use social media as well. So find other people online that are successful in the area that you want to teach, so that you know for sure there is demand. Now, not only do I tell them to go ahead and find at least 3 to 5 co-workers, I would encourage, right? that you can go and do some research on. Now I tend to do 3 because before AI, it was a manual process. Let me just show you exactly what this looks like, right? Let me just show you my screen so you get like what we're talking about here and really just like break this whole thing down. So, let me share my screen. So here we have, all right, cool. This is my old worksheet for my clients, okay? Literally what they have. And if you're my client, you know you've seen this already, okay? And so what I would tell them to do is go to, like, for example, YouTube, Google, and we'll go to YouTube, and let's say we're looking for someone who's like a health coach or a belly fat coach, and I might say put belly fat, right? And I'll find people who's talking about belly fat, and I'll tell you how to use YouTube what's it called, predictive text for searches, and we'll go through all of that. And so you'll find people who are coaches or all the things, and what we'll do is we'll pick 3, and then we'll now work through this list, and we'll start to find out and dig deep and go and find out all these answers inside for all these different competitors that we found online. Now we have a tool that you could go out and does the research for you. It's not a VA. No, it's not. What it is something, you see my screen right here, go to ChatGPT, and it's what we have put your ChatGPT in agent mode. And your agent, what this does, it goes out there into the online space and it does all of this research for you, and it does it at a very high level. And you can use my prompts exactly how I've used them to be able to really dig deep and find people who do what you do. Okay, so let me explain. So I'm going to show you the prompt and give you an example. Now, in full transparency, for some reason, my desktop version doesn't actually connect. So I had to use my phone to do this. So, and my phone currently is not able to wire up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the prompts. But remember, just go into here and go to agent mode. Now, you have to have the paid version. All right, a pro or a pro or plus, right, and to be able to use this. Okay, now when you do go in there, we're gonna have 5 different tasks to start off to really get clear to make sure that your course, your coaching program is going to sell. Okay, now the first one is your business context upload and alignment. Okay, so we want to ask clarifying questions, and we want to be able to teach the AI your business, and also force it to ask you questions so that it's clear on your business model and everything that you need. Now, if you're new, you may not know all these answers, but I want you to just trust the process and put as much detail as you can as we go through. So the whole point of this particular prompt is to declare the AI role. All right, so we want to use it as a long-term agent. You're going to keep that same thread. Okay, we're going to provide structured business context. We're going to ask clarifying questions so that it can really be clear on your business model, and then we want to make sure that it remembers you for future tasks. Okay, so we want to answer all of these questions: your business type, your core offer, your signature framework, your mission. You may not know all of this right now, but all that you do know, put it in, okay? And so here is the prompt. The prompt is this: you are my long-term business AI agent. Here is my business context. And so we dump all your business inside here. And then we say, remember this context for all future tasks before giving advice. Now ask me clarifying questions you need, okay? And then as a very short prompt, say, act as my business assistant. Here is the business context. Ask me 3 to 5 questions before giving recommendations. So this is like the specific quote you want to use, the prompt you want to use. Now, okay, so now an example I put here already, and just to give you an example, so you're not too unsure if you're brand new, especially if you're a beginner here, it will help you. So, business type. This is an example of a health coach, an online health coach, and maybe also selling some digital programs as well. The core offer. So your core offer is that thing that you're selling all the time. So maybe you have a 12-week program, or you have a 12-week course, or you have a low-ticket product, or you have a one-to-one program. So whatever your core offer is, put the main offer in there. The signature framework, what if you have a name for it, you can put it down. The mission, who you're helping, what you're helping them to do. Your niche, i.e. what basically here we have belly fat loss for busy women, right? Especially those between a certain age bracket and what they're struggling with, who the target audience is, the main problem that you solve, i.e., will be belly fat, not health in general, platforms that you're on, and all the other things that are here. So you want to go into detail. I've wanted to put this particular example here so you can kind of see how I put that out there. But the other ones, it will now work with you to find. Now, I've copied and pasted all of that in. And then what you want to do is you want to, as I said before, you're going to go straight to agent mode and it's going to do the work for you. Now, what it's going to do, it's going to present to you, it's going to basically store all of your business information and ask you a few more things to make sure that they're clear on what you do. Now, once the chat agent is clear on what you do, this is the game changer. That's going to save you so much time that took my client maybe like a week to do, right? No excuse. Here on the call, you can do it right now, okay? Pause it and even do it now. So what it says next you can do is you can ask it to find 5 comparable competitors that are proof-based. That's the key. They are proof-based. So here is my prompt that I had. Find 5 publicly known faith filter business coaches or brands who are at over and above a certain level. So for me, over 7 figures, okay? Now for you, it may not be that you need to put in how much they're earning, but it may not be that they're publicly known. You might just put here successful, proven success. They have proven success online. That's the key thing. Not randoms, but proven success, okay? And they're similar to you and they're solving your same problem, okay? For the similar audience that you have. So for each of these people, provide the name, the website, who they serve, their core offer, any public evidence or claims, revenue levels, why they're comparable to you, and only include if you can cite a public source for revenue. This is a game changer. It will take the agent minutes. Now remember my little spreadsheet over here. This took my client, sometimes it could take a whole couple of hours or even to get this information. Even sometimes they have to go back to it for another few days or so. But now in a press of a button, it's going to search the entire net and give you these answers. Game changer, okay? Now, once it's done that, the next thing it's going to do, which is this another game changer, is a competitor strategy breakdown. Priceless, I'm telling you, okay? Now, what it will do, the prompt is this. Analyze these competitors. You put all the links in. Now, before you do this part right here, check the results that it has given you. Check the results. Go and validate them and go and check online and go and check them and see if you're happy with those people. Now, when I did it for myself, there was one or two that I wasn't really too keen on, and because I didn't really know my competitors really well, I kind of added them in manually. So if you know your competitors already, just add them in manually to this one. But if you don't know who they are right now, go and ask your chat to go and search for you. Okay. Now make sure that they are proven. Now, give me a strategist level breakdown. What they sell, how they position themselves, repeated language, angles, frameworks, where customers may feel underserved, confused, unsatisfied, the differentiation opportunities for my offer, powerful, summarize key patterns and strongest opportunities. Now, be specific. Use examples of messaging where possible. This is an absolute game changer. So what it's going to do is going to go and search their own client. Like let's say, for example, one of your co-workers has a YouTube channel. They're going to search the comments on the YouTube channel and we'll check and see, all right, what are people saying about it? Where is there gaps? Where are people feeling underserved? Where maybe on social media, they're going to search them and find out on their website where they've seen things that they need to kind of improve in certain areas. It is gold. This is gold, guys. This is gold. I'm getting so excited for you. This is gold, okay? Now, that is step 3. They're going to find your competitor, your co-worker rather, and they're going to analyze your co-worker, okay? Now, number 4 prompt is going to be your product direction mapping for 5 product directions from credibility and market gaps. What does that mean? Essentially, you want to know how you fit into this gap. So you are now my product validation agent. So using problems that you have solved. Now you're going to put in some more text here. So problems you've solved, what people ask from you, your skills, your background, any challenges that you have overcome, preferred formats that you like, right? So you're going to insert your information here based on your God-given gifts, your stories, your expertise, all the things, okay? Market gaps, opportunities, your audience. And the question here now is generate 5 clear, specific product directions that align with the gaps, match your credibility, and fit your preferred format, okay? Return each with the name, the promise, who it's for, and why this will sell. Absolute game changer, okay? So now it's giving you some ideas based on what you've already done to see, okay, how I can really solve a real, clearly proven problem in the marketplace that will definitely sell, okay? And so now it's going to give you some ideas for products or for an angle for you to look at based on real results online, okay? Now once it's done that piece, the last piece, which is what we need, is demand validation. So now it's gone to the market, looked at your competitors, looked at their gaps, looked at where you can fill those gaps, look at what you do already, and now based on all of those things, go to the market, and your AI agent is going to act as your real world demand validation scanner, okay? And so the next prompt, the last prompt we're going to use right now is validate these products directions using only observable demand signals, okay? Search public platforms, i.e. Reddit, Google, YouTube. Identify recurring questions, frustrations, and exact language people use. Report back with the 1 to 2 directions showing strongest demand, evidence, common questions, repeated phrasing patterns, which directions are weaker or less urgent and why. Rules: do not rely on trends or assumptions, only observable signals. This is a game changer, I'm telling you. Now, I had to give you a beginner and advanced version because when I did this, it was so like mind-blowing on what it produced for me, and it was really powerful because what it will do, it will give you real questions people are asking right now about the thing, okay? Now, beginner prompt is this: check if people are asking for these solutions online. Tell me which is most in demand. That's one way you can ask. Now, another advanced way, this is what I did. If you want to follow what I did, create a demand table for each product, the number of unique threads or comments found, a recurring phrase in the top 10, the pain intensity indicators, so how much pain, fear, urgency, money pressure, buyer intent language, right? So what words are they using? Are they using course? Are they using coach, templates? What are they saying? And then rank products and explain the ranking criteria. This is an absolute game changer. So you're gonna get an output now of products ranked in the intensity of demand or pain for what you have. So which product has the most demand through their fears, through more I guess fear-based, if you like, or urgency language. It like literally this, you need to go do this now. Go do this now and let me know, right, in the comments what results you have gotten, because once you know this, you have complete clarity that your program is going to sell, or your course rather is going to sell, because now you've seen proof that people actually want it. And so I would still recommend to go and do, what's it called, client research and have conversations, but now you go with confidence, okay? So in the next video coming up, I'm going to show you exactly how to launch this out, how to find your first client, right? Using more of these kind of prompts that's going to help you to kind of position yourself as the expert and sign your first or your next client, charging 2K and above for your course or for your coaching program, depending on what you are doing online. Okay. Now, again, if you want access to my free training where you can identify your God-given gifts and turn it into an online business, and so you can be able to leave your 9 to 5 if you're in 9 to 5 or have a really sustainable income. Now, I do use biblical principles, and I use specifically the model in 2 Kings 4 verse 1 to 7, which is the widow's oil. And that is a framework that God has given me that is a complete game changer and has helped me and my clients to not just create income, but to do it God's way and ensure that our spirit, soul, and body is fully engaged with the process. And by following this framework, and what I'm going to teach you in the free training is exactly how you can identify your God-given gifts, how you can position your oil so that you can experience never-ending income in the marketplace. And if you know those verses very well, you know that the widow at the verse 7, she says that she sold her oil and her sons lived off the rest of the oil. So actually she had income for her lifetime and for her son's lifetime. Okay, so you can comment training below if you want that training, but the next video will be, we're going to talk about how to now launch your course using some of these prompts as well to get you to the next level. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and God bless.